Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Crystal K. And today I have a very, very special guest joining me. He is a music producer from the music capital of the world, Atlanta. You know him from many hits that he's responsible for. He's done stuff like On the Way by DJ Luke Nasty, California, Smile by Little Duval, and most recently, Percolator by City Girls. Please help me welcome Mr. Hanky. How are you, sir?
What's happening? Still getting situated over here. I think I got it.
You got it. You getting right?
Yeah, I'm trying not to have them Teddy Riley issues. Hold on.
Oh, yes. We don't need that.
A year later, Teddy Riley issues. Hold on. Almost done. Hold on. Got to hit these angles. All right, Chris, talk. We're almost there. All right. I think we got it. Hold on. Almost got it. Hold on. But yes, I'm happy to be here.
There we go. We're getting there.
There we go. All right, I think we got it.
Feeling good? Feeling great?
Yeah, feeling good. Feeling great. Hold on. My head cut off. Hold on. Push back a little bit more. All right, here we go. All right. There we go. There we go.
Good to go?
Yeah, we go. We're good now.
So how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. Still having Twerkulator go around the world. So that feels pretty good. But I'm happy to be here with you. We here. We made it. We go write a book about how long it took us to get here.
Bestseller. So I want to ask you, very obvious question, but I still got to ask you, just for people that may not know, what does a music producer do?
What a music producer is supposed to do, we're responsible for making sure the song is interesting from the beginning to the end. Literally putting together the whole song, the whole project, the artist, for how they look, all that. That's our job. What people think it is just people who just make a beat, and that's it. But that's only just a small part of the beat making part. That's easy, but the main thing is putting together the actual product.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did you get started? How did you get into it?
Originally from being a DJ, just, learning what people wanted to hear, how they wanted, just seeing how people reacted to certain songs, especially like when I was at Southern University, I would DJ out in front of like the campus and the Union. On Pretty Wednesdays, and it was that's the thing on Wednesdays, like everybody come out. I don't know, for some reason it was like a fashion show. So at 12 o'clock, that was the thing to be at the Union with your best stuff on, and I would be DJing, and it was people from all walks of life there, different ethnicities, different parts of the world, different parts of the country. So while I'm DJing, I'm playing all the local hits, but the local Louisiana hits, but I'm playing also things that get the people from Cali jumping, the people from Texas, the people from Atlanta, the people from different places. So from that point, I just learned what gets people going. And it just kind of spread into that, making beats for people and just knowing what it took to get the reaction out of people that we was looking for.
So what percentage would you say of that you learned as being a DJ plays into your role as being a successful music producer?
I mean, at least a good 90-95%. Okay. I mean, because at that point you learn, you just learn how people react, and that carries over to the day. That's why, I go out a lot. I travel a lot just to see what people are, listening to in different regions of the world, different regions of the country. So it makes it a lot easier when they come to me and say, hey, I want something for City Girls, or I need something for Queen Naja, or, any of the people I produced for this last year, or Chris Brown or something like, and we want something to make the girls to dance. So we want to get the club fighting, everybody jumping around.
Right.
Like, I know what the feel of it, the vibe of it is, you know what I'm saying? So it's a huge part.
Mm-hmm. So you have to have a good feel for it.
Definitely.
Is it mostly kind of instinctual, kind of you're good, or is it just calculated?
It's definitely a little bit of both. I want to say it's definitely a little bit of both. It's a lot of instinct, but it's definitely very intentional. To where, like you said, um, I know what the goal is. I know what they want. As they say now, you got to understand the assignment. You know what I mean?
Understand the assignment, and it was understood.
Exactly.
Okay, so I gotta know, where did you get the name from? What is the story behind the name?
Oh, I got Mr. Hanky when I was in the band at Southern.
Uh-huh.
When I was a freshman band member, you become a crowd and you have to
Uh-huh.
cut your hair off and your facial hair off for like 4 to 5 months, and you get a crowd name. And my name happened to be at the time, everybody was, on the whole South Park wave,
Uh-huh.
and that's just what it was. So we went to practice one day. One of the upperclassmen was like, "Hey man, you look like Mr. Hanky from South Park," and it just stuck. You know what I mean? So it just stuck. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be Mr. Hanky then. And it don't mean nothing freaky like everybody think. They think it's an amateur porno name or something.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, I've heard all kind of, they call it hanky panky. Nah,
Yeah.
it's from South Park, the cartoon, the talking piece of shit, because I did think I was the shit at the time.
Uh-huh.
So it kind of worked.
Mr. Hanky. So it just stuck. Okay.
Yeah, it stuck like shit.
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't gonna say it. But
Hey, it's okay. You can say it. We here.
we here. Okay. Well, I want to ask you this. So with you being from Atlanta, is that added? You are from Atlanta, correct?
Right. East Atlanta to be exact.
East Atlanta. Is
Yes.
that added pressure for anybody in the music industry, or does it just kind of fuel you forward and make you go harder? Because I mean, Atlanta is known, like, it's the sound of the South. It's known for turning out rappers, singers, everybody. It's big with music. So is that like pressure for you? Is that something that made you want to go into music, always being around it? Tell me a little bit about how Atlanta molded you.
Definitely. It's not really pressure because, like I said, I grew up in it, so it's not anything I'm faking or trying to belong to. It's really in me. You're talking about, if you really born here during the time I was born and raised here,
Uh-huh.
um, grew up seeing Freaknik and all those legendary parties and that vibe of the city, to the Olympics, to just seeing the whole city grow. So it's really like it's a little pressure, but not really because it's like breathing for me,
Mm-hmm.
and you become a part of the city. The city becomes a part of you, so you kind of take it with you everywhere you go. But it's definitely motivation to go harder.
Mm-hmm.
People that you went to school with, you see them doing good. It's just always a new artist coming out of the city, so it's just a lot of different things you have to um, make make it make sense for you. It's a lot of
Okay.
different things.
So Atlanta definitely helped you. Just
Oh,
being
definitely. Yeah,
always
yeah,
being
yeah.
around it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So switching gears a little bit. Tell me about your 2020. What was 2020 like for you, and what did it teach you?
2020. I mean, 2020 is probably one of the best years of my career. I
Okay.
don't know. Business was booming. For some reason, everybody got these checks and everybody wanted to be a rapper. So I sold a bunch of beats to a lot of people that you're not gonna probably ever hear of.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't know, it was cool, but it was definitely eye opening to the point to where like, um, it taught me things I already knew, but it kind of reiterated what I knew a long time ago, that we really not in control of nothing. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So, in a heartbeat, in a month or so, the whole world changed. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? The whole world shut down, and it's like everything we thought we knew, or
Mm-hmm.
or made sense, it didn't really matter no more. You know what I'm saying? So it just taught me, reiterated how much of not control we really don't have any control over anything. It's really a bunch of blessings and fortunate circumstances that afford us these things. Because right now, I mean, it looks like we're about to go back in a lockdown again. So
I think it's coming. Oh, that's
Yeah,
good. That go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's definitely coming.
Yeah, I mean, I hate it, but if that's what it takes for us to get out of this, then I'm all for it. But
There
yeah.
you go. Oh, and it was cool. Like I said, I got a chance to really slow down and really concentrate on things I really wanted to do, as far
Mhm.
as like just um, different endeavors, different artists I wanted to work with, and it really was no pressure. I think that was a cool thing about it.
Mhm.
It really emphasized the whole not having any pressure or not just being so pressed to do stuff all the time.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you said that 2020, you got a lot of checks from a whole bunch of rappers making a whole bunch of beats that we probably never gonna hear about. So when you're like in the studio with artists, or you hear a song, or you're doing a song, how do you know? It's a two-part question. So how do you know, first off, this song is gonna be a hit? Do you even go into
Mhm.
it thinking? What are some of
You
the telltale signs?
Yeah, you definitely want to go into it thinking it's going to be a hit. It's almost like a parent and their kid. Parents think everything their kids do, every kid is amazing and all this other stuff. But the reality of the matter is, I know when it's a great song. I know when it's put together, and I know if it's done right. If it's promoted the right way, it could kind of grow into something.
Mm-hmm.
I know those things, but it takes so many different variables to become a hit, for a record to become a hit record, because there's so much music out there. So
Uh-huh.
it's literally about having the perfect storm, um, where there's, if there's nothing else going on, how you doing? Going on out there like that. If it's a summertime vibe, if it's what's going on in the world. There's so many different variables outside the song that
Mm-hmm.
determine what's the hit song. So, um, yeah, I know when it's a hit. I know when it has potential to be a hit, and that's why I try to get involved in a lot of the production side of my records now, so I can assure that they will be hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I read a little bit up on you, um, and I saw where you were talking about kind of how the song "Smile" came about that you did with Little Duval. Can you tell us a little bit about that process? Because it sounds like what you're talking about now, the variables around it, and promoting and all that stuff.
Yeah, it
What
was.
was your initial thought
I
when
mean,
you
like
were
I
getting
said,
ready?
my initial thought to Smile when we first got in the studio, like it was. I thought honestly it was gonna be, we're just gonna do something for Instagram, because we weren't in the studio to do a record for Lil Duval. We was in the studio to finish up a record for Bebe out of Dallas, big
Mm-hmm.
radio DJ. Shout out to him and Zero. So
Mm-hmm.
Duval was just supposed to do the intro. I produced the record, of course, but we was just there to do that part of it. And from there, after we finished the intro, it was quick, knocked it out, sound good. He's like, play some more stuff. I need a song for this stuff I've been doing. You got something in mind? I was like, yeah, let's go. And it just grew from that. When he first laid down his first vocals, it was just smile, 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 smile all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
It was no living my best life. It was no. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
All right, you see me? Okay.
I can see.
There was no. I'm living my best life. There was no Snoop involved. There was no Ball Greasy, none of that. You know what I'm saying? It was just literally him saying smile bitch for 4 minutes, 42 seconds, nonstop. So
What?
yes, that's what it was. So that's where the whole producing thing comes into play. Like I tell people all the time, like from that I took those things and chopped it up and put some space in between it to kind of give it some kind of song format. Then once we sent it over to Snoop, it made it a lot easier for Snoop. He picking, decided what he wanted to add to it, and then from there, it all just made sense. And once Snoop did his part, Ball Greasy, he sent in his verse, and Lil Duval added "Living My Best Life." He added that part to it, And that was pretty much it. So it went from literally being an idea, a real cool idea to see, let's see what happens, to like a real deal thing. Mm-hmm. So that goes to, like the production part I was talking about, just knowing the DJ part of me came in to know like, okay, if we do this right, it can be something. And taking an initiative to make it something more than just the Instagram skit that lives. It'll probably went viral. It'd have been funny for a little bit, and that would have been it. It would have came and went, but made it a real deal situation, and it was #1 on Billboard for 8 weeks in a row. Yeah. Out of all the songs in the world, that was #1 for 8 weeks in a row.
That's because it's a hit. So when you're working with different artists, because I know you work with a whole lot of big names, I'm sure you've seen a whole lot of new artists, a lot of upcoming. When you're working with artists, how do you know that a certain artist has star potential? And when do you see that stardom, and what are some signs?
It's certain stuff you can't teach, man. Like anybody can make a record, mm-hmm. but everybody ain't a star. You know what I'm saying? Like you have seen, there's a bunch of hit songs that's out there right now that people play, and there's a bunch of those, like the songs are huge, but you don't even know who the artists are. You know what I'm saying? Even if the artist walked in the room, you just wouldn't know who they were. So that kind of quality when you walk in the room, just that attention that they demand without even trying to get that attention, where everybody's turning around like, oh, who is that? Or who is she? Who is that? So I kind of got that feeling with like a lot of the artists I'm working with now, like Kissy Lee. She definitely has star potential, star power. My boy Saddam Hussein, he's another one. But there's a couple of other ones, man. But it's just like really just that stuff you can't teach. That's what it boils down to. Like, because like I said, there's been times where I work with artists who had, big, huge singles, and they had the personality of a dry paper towel. You know what I'm saying? And that, for real, you be like, dang, bro, smile on the interview, give them some personality, give them some sauce or something, but it just is not them. You know what I'm saying? And consequently, the records fail because they don't fall, but they don't reach their full potential. You know what I'm saying? So those are those things. Soulja Boy was definitely one of those artists who instantly, like you see now, he has that potential to have a hit record, to have this and that going just like that, just based off his potential, or to get something going. So those things you just can't, it's not even about the music, it's just what they call it, the sauce. You can't teach the sauce. You're either born with it. You can't acquire the sauce. You can't buy it. A lot of people try to buy it through jewelry and clothes and stuff, but it's not the same. It just don't taste the same. It don't drip the same,
So either you have it or you don't.
There you go. Either you got the sauce or you lost. Either or. You know what I'm saying? So you really, now you can develop it. You can work on it, but you still have to have that potential. You still have to have some kind of charisma, some kind of personality. And especially with there being so many artists out here right now, that's the personality and all that stuff is mandatory now because there's so many people out here trying to be artists.
Do you think, because I like that you brought up Soulja Boy, because I definitely wanted to talk about that, because I know you had a lot of, I know you work with Mr. Color Park a lot and Soulja Boy a lot, but do you think that right now with the way things are, that radio still has a play in a song being a hit? I mean, of course it does, but like, do you think that radio is absolutely necessary?
Yeah, radio is very necessary. Radio is very necessary. The DJs are necessary. The DJs in the clubs are necessary. Because I'll tell you what, like a lot of people think they're like, oh, well, TikTok and this and all, and the social media and all this other stuff. But you got to understand, like, Instagram don't control what plays in the clubs. When you going out and about into these, different markets and stuff, everybody don't necessarily listen to Apple Music and stuff all the time. I know I don't. Like a lot of times I'm on the go, so I don't have time to necessarily go find the perfect playlist or not. I just turn on the radio, wherever city I'm at, and whatever comes on the radio, that's what I hear. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot more people in the world that's like me, to where like a lot of us, you know, like I said, when you're on the go, you got to get stuff done. You literally turn it on the car, get in the car or whatever, the Uber, whatever, and you're susceptible to whatever's coming through there. So it's always going to be king. It's always going to be the standard, because also, even if your song does go viral on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, that's only what, 15 seconds or a minute or whatnot. So yeah, so there have been challenges I've seen that were huge online, and then I heard the DJ play it in the club, and then once it gets past that one little part that the challenge is on, people be looking around like, oh, this is a real song. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. They really be looking around like, oh, this is a whole song. Like one of them was one of the records my homegirl Erica Banks. It was her record, the Busted record. And I remember, you know, once it got past the challenge, I remember they played in the club and people was like, girls stopped dancing. They was like, oh, I actually like, this is a real song. I like it. And that has a lot to do with radio. That's when the radio comes in, to where like they're playing that full song, and now they know that this is a real song. Now I agree, like social media and all that does kick off a lot of stuff. It gets a lot of stuff going, sets a lot of trends off, but radio enforces it. The DJs in the club enforce all of that, because without that, it's nothing.
Okay. So I read a quote from you that I like that you said. You said, to be successful in anything now, you have to be very open to doing things in a non-traditional way. Can you elaborate, please, sir? I mean, it's self-explanatory, but I just want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, perfect example, like I said, even with my man Duval, when we did Smile, like I said, he wasn't known for being a recording artist. You know, he had songs out, but it's not like, you know, people was running down, beating down the door saying, hey, I want to do a song with Lil Duval, or because he's known mostly for being a comedian. And everything about that record, that's why it's so special to me. Everything about that record has so many things about it that says it's not supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? It's a comedian. Snoop is a legend, and then you got Ball Greasy, who's a Florida legend. So theoretically, those three things don't really mesh well. You know, you have a lot of people trying to analyze it. You know, in the industry, a lot of people be like, well, why would you do a song with Lil Duval? I mean, he's not known for this. And his monthly streams aren't this and that, and the analytics aren't this and that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people, had you would have taken that record into a label, they would have shot it down. You know what I'm saying? They would have like, oh, it's a song with Lil Duval on it. Okay, cool, great. You know, but you got to believe, you know, in yourself and the people that's around you. I knew it was gonna be decent once we got it back and got it, you know, started working with it a little bit more. But it was one of those things like, it just made sense, you know. So that's one. Even with City Girls Twerkulator, the way we went about doing that record, it wasn't necessarily the thing y'all see on TV where we come in the studio and we vibing out for 8 hours. No, my man that I met that connected me with them, I met him through another independent artist that was just, you know, was in the studio just messing around, and I just connected with him, not even knowing who he was and who he was connected to. You feel me? So it's one of those things, like I'm open to learning different people, you know, connecting with different people, because you just never know who knows who. And he called me out the blue one day. He was like, hey, man, I'm like, we hadn't talked in a minute. He's like, hey, man. I'm like, what's up, bro? What you got going on? He's like, man, I'm finna go in the studio with the City Girls. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, send me something. I sent over that to them. They sent it back. I was like, this is amazing. And there we go.
So what is your process like? How do you get in your zone as a producer?
Um, Honestly, the main thing is I just keep working. Like, I'm not one of those people to necessarily, just celebrate nonstop. Even if I am celebrating, I'm still working. You know what I'm saying? So I don't stop working. I've got a couple of other projects going on. Like I'm working right now. Like I don't even have I'm working like I did when I first started. Like before I even got a song on the radio. You feel me? So I just keep that kind of energy, and it just keeps things coming.
So the grind is how you get in your zone. You just keep
Yeah.
grinding. Like
Yeah,
day
I
one.
wouldn't even think of it as a grind though. It's just more of a like, because okay, this is the part about it too. Once you get like a hit record, that's what people coming to you for. You know what I'm saying? They're looking not necessarily for that sound, but they're looking for those results. So
Mm-hmm.
um, they're coming to you for a specific sound. Like I got so many female artists coming up to me now, like they want that dance party vibe, and that's just how it works. So I just keep feeding it to them, and it just goes. And at that point, I write what I need to write onto the record. I present the whole record and make it do what it do.
Okay. So what's next for Mr. Hanky? What's next?
I'm working on my project right now. I have a single with Erica Banks coming out soon called Nutty Twerk, featuring my homeboy Ricky Coins. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be another twerk anthem. I got another record I just did two new records with Travis Porter.
Okay.
Another It's gonna be another twerk classic. And it's featuring Erica Banks. And I got another record with Erica Banks, my boy Freaky Boulevard, and Beat King. Y'all hear it here first. The song is called Oh Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yes, you got an exclusive. Put this as a soundbite, but yes, Oh Yeah remix featuring Erica Banks and Beat King, Mr. Hanky, Mike Made It, all that stuff. We go crazy.
Okay.
My
Oh.
boy Mike made the beat. We all put the whole thing together. Shout out to Stewie Rock. That's coming out soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a couple other records with City Girls and a couple other artists coming out too. I can't really talk about, but yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So what advice would you give to artists that are up and coming or that are new to the music game? What advice would you give as a producer?
The biggest advice I would just say is honestly, just really, really, really get a real team. And when I say a real team, I mean like one that's experienced, because there's a lot of clowns out there selling dreams. There's a lot of people saying they can do this for independent artists, do that for independent artists. And you look at their resume, they used to be artists and they've never done it for themselves. Mm-hmm. So how can they do it for you? You know what I'm saying? It just asks those type of questions. And not to be funny, but it's just a real deal thing. You're not going to buy a house for somebody that never even built a tool shed before. So it's that type of thing. It's just a lot of people falling for it. And other advice I would give them is it's not an overnight thing. Be prepared to make a long-term investment to not only, financially, but just educationally learning the business, so you don't end up on Unsung saying somebody did you wrong and not understanding the business. A lot of people don't understand that the music business is a lot like the bank. Like labels are nothing but banks. They fund your career for you. They do all of that, and they really just that's all they do. Like they really that's their thing. So that advance that you get, that budget you get, is not for you to go blow. That's for you to fund your career. So you really have to pay that money back before you make your money. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? They just really think that's for them to go blow and buy a house. That's cool. But you got to make that and then some before you start seeing any money back from it, because they have to make their money back first.
So you think a lot of people just really don't understand the business side of it? That's what they're lacking.
Exactly. And it's not hard. I think the thing I see all the time is like, there's so many Google music experts out there. There's so many YouTube, you know, and it's crazy. They be walking around here like they did something. I be like, all right, well, cool. It's that type of thing. You can't learn everything off of Google. You got to pay your real entertainment attorney to sit down with you, or somebody, like myself, to consult you. Like, make those type of investments so you make sure you're not making those same mistakes. And it's crazy. Like, people literally sign their life away, miss out on millions of dollars because they didn't want to go pay an attorney $150 to $500 to make sure that the information is correct. That's crazy to me.
It is.
You spend more on that on shoes and clothes, and they sit up here literally rap about money, and then don't go spend the right money to go make the real money. It's crazy.
Priorities.
It's crazy. And then in the video with all their jewelry on and all their clothes, and they go to the strip club and throw $10,000, but won't go sit with an attorney, give him a retainer to make sure the business is correct. It's crazy.
Last question for you, sir.
What
does it for you as a producer? What is the highlight? What makes you the happiest, the most fulfilled?
It's a feeling like when you do a song and you see everybody reacting to it. It's crazy because a lot of times, it never gets old. It's like, dang, like this started from in my head, and now the whole world is saying it. You know what I'm saying? So that never gets old. It's crazier, like when you do it over and over again with different artists. You know what I'm saying? Like from City Girls to Queen Naja, the record I did with her, Love Is Blind. It's crazy. When you driving down the street and you stop at the stoplight and somebody's playing your stuff, and you be looking like they don't even know that's my shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Or you walking into a club or a spot, or you walk into a club or a restaurant and your song is playing it. You gotta be cool about it. You don't look like no rookie. You're like, oh yeah, but it's always a fulfilling thing to let you know what you're doing is on the right track. Because a lot of times the business side of it, it's draining. It's draining for real. Like it's so much cap that goes on in the business. It's crazy. So, from waiting on feature clearances, like I got a record I've been waiting on a feature clearance since March. You know what I'm saying? And I see the artists and their label all the time, and they're like, "Hey man, what we doing? You just got to keep this song and dance going. Just keep the stuff going." But those things, that's what keeps you going. Just to seeing the reaction of people. You go to the NFL game and they're playing your song, or it's just all little signs. Or BET Awards, see City Girls performing Twerkulator on stage, coming down from the ceiling and stuff, and you'd be like, "Damn, this shit crazy. I ain't even think about this part of it." You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh damn. I was just thinking about making a twerk. I ain't know nothing about coming down from the ceiling. So it's those type of things, because even as a producer, even when you make hits, like we're still like one of the last people a lot of times that's acknowledged, and it's a lot of times it's crazy. Like you'll see, especially like when the videos come out, they'll give a shout out to the beauticians, the fucking catering company, all this stuff. They'll at them, they'll do all this stuff, and then you gotta be like, hey, half that song, half the song is mine, but okay. Okay. Like it's literally like I saw, and it's crazy. I saw, I saw this recently. Like they gave a shout out to all the dancers, the makeup people, everything. No shout out to the producer. It's crazy.
Oh, man.
Because it's a business, and a lot of times, I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like people pick and choose when they want to show love, and they really only do it. Truth be told, if an artist or a label is showing love, hold on. If an artist or a label is showing love to a producer or songwriter or something, 9 times out of 10, they got them under some kind of management situation or some kind of publishing situation or something like that. But if they don't see a way that they can necessarily make money off of you, not with you, mm-hmm. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through an act of Congress to do all that. It's crazy. Like, and it happens all the time. It's the craziest shit ever. Like, niggas will go to, like, the Breakfast Club and do all this stuff, and they'll ask the artist, like, well, how did this song come about? And they're like, me and so-and-so, we just got it. Me, this artist, that artist just got in there. They're like, damn, for real?
You do hear that all the time. You really do.
Yeah, it's like the craziest shit ever. So I was like, so we ain't gonna talk about how that whole, okay, well, it just be one of those things. So in order to, you have to find those victories, those small things and celebrate those, because other than that, you'll be up here throwing rants and stuff all the time and won't nobody want to work with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing that keeps you going. It's motivating, and it just, you just go on to the next, keep it moving. Get your checks, on to the next.
On to the next. Well, Mr.
Yeah.
Hanky, I want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me today and dropping knowledge and just being great company. So I just really want to say thank you so much. And I know everything you touch will be golden, so I'm not even going to say all that. Continue making those hits. If I see your name somewhere, I'm going to be like, that's him. That's his stuff.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Definitely.
Have a good night.
How you want me to say the video?
Yes, please. That would be awesome. I was going to say that to you.
I got you. I'm going to save it.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right.